Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Strategic Wealth Strategy Podcast with our host, Alan Porter. Alan, what's going on, man? How are you?
How you doing today? Another hot day. It's going to be over 100 degrees here in North Carolina, but you got to bear with it all the time.
Yeah, but you'll at least have warmer weather when it's colder in Pittsburgh. All right, so our topic today, August is National Make a Will Month. And financial professional Alan Porter from Strategic Wealth Strategies joins us to talk common estate planning mistakes and what we can learn from four legendary stars. First of all, does everyone need a will?
Well, Neil, absolutely. Everyone needs a will. I had a will when I was 18 years old. Of course, I was in the military, but everyone needs to have a will. And we'll go over some things on the reasons that people do need to have the will. I mean, especially people with kids. If you're a designator, somebody to take care of your kids, if you both die in a car accident, what's going to happen? Well, it's going to go to the courts, and the courts are going to decide who's going to take care of your children. Even if you don't have children, if you don't have a will, it just saves your family, your friends, time, expense, and headaches. But everybody's got to have at least a will, and if not a trust too.
Aretha Franklin's estate was recently settled. What can we learn from her estate plan?
Well, one of the problems Aretha did, she was a great singer, wasn't she? But
Fair.
I tell you what, one of the problems she did, she had a handwritten will they found under her bed, and it's been in court for over 5 years.
Wow.
I mean, it costs their families hundreds of thousands of dollars in legal fees, and not alone just to talk about the taxes that she possibly pays on her estate.
So that's the problem with DIYs, isn't it?
Exactly, because they leave a lot of things out. They don't cover things, and they don't update them. I mean, you should update your will at least every year. What happens if you get married again? I mean, I'll explain a little bit more on that on a couple of these other people I'm going to talk about today.
All right, let's talk about Prince. We talked about that before.
Oh yeah, Prince the entertainer, 57 years old when he died, but he had no plan when he died. It's like a lot of people out there. But the problem is, if you don't have a will or trust set up properly, your estate is going to go into probate, and many people don't know what probate is. Well, I've got a definition for probate. It's a lawsuit that's initiated by you that you're going to pay for and you're going to lose. And I think it's still in probate. I'm not sure, but it's been over almost 3 years now. And what's going to happen? The families are only going to get probably 15 to 20% of that estate, because everything else is going to be for taxes, because the government takes control of that estate. They will sell all the assets to pay the taxes on the estate, and that's what they're left with, 15 to 20%. And what's really bad is attorneys are going to get 6 to 12% of that estate for legal fees. With proper planning, none of this would have happened.
How about Kobe Bryant? He keeps his plans updated, right?
Well, he does keep his plans updated, but here's the thing: he forgot to include his newest child in his will, and what a tragic accident that was. But I mean, there's just all kinds of things, and they finally got the child in the trust and everything. But it took a couple of years to get all that done, and that involves massive paperwork and expense that they don't need to do if they, have a plan and properly execute that plan and properly update it.
How about Audrey Hepburn?
Well, this is one that I tell people about all the time. She had a massive estate, of course, but she just had a simple will. Give everything to her two children. Well, there's big problems in here, because how do you exactly divide up something for your two kids? I ask people all the time, what are you going to do with your house when you pass away? And they all tell me, well, we'll give it to the kids. I said, well, do you want your kids to talk to each other when you're both gone? Well, what do you mean? I said, well, first off, if you have two kids, at least two kids, the number one person that's going to be benefiting from your estate is Uncle Sam through taxes. But let's say that you have three kids, and one of them wants to sell the house, get the money to pay for bills. The other two want to keep the house as a income producing vehicle. Now you've created harsh feelings. And I know people, brothers and sisters don't even talk to each other because of just these certain things. But I show people different ways to prepare for things that can happen in the future, and you're not paying taxes on that.
Any other tips for creating a will?
Well, I tell you what we do at Strategic Wealth Strategies, I collaborate with top CPAs, top tax specific attorneys, and other estate planners, elder attorneys. But what we do is we set up, like with cash value life insurance, you can set that up in a trust, and that trust that's tax-free money. Think of that. And if you buy a life insurance policy for pennies on the dollar, let's say you spent $1,000 a month on a life insurance policy. Well, your death benefit depends how old you are. It may be $1 million. But think about this: it's tax deferred. You get your distributions tax free, so it goes into the trust, and it comes out to your beneficiaries, and you control it. This is what I say: controlling from the grave. As an example, let's say that you've got a few $1 million, and you don't want your kids to be trust babies. Right in that trust, if you have a job, I will pay you a same amount of money that you make in your job. I'm not going to pay you any more. I'm not going to pay any less. You can stair step it, pay part of it at 20, 25, 30, 35, whatever, if they're going to school. And this going to school, and the other thing, big one that people are scared of, the kids are going to get into drugs. So I require any beneficiary to have a drug test every year or every 6 months. I mean, you can control from the grave, and that's what people need to do. They need to control their assets from the grave and make sure their assets are distributed the way that you want as as the individual. But people don't do this. No. And it cost them millions of dollars. It's just like Joe Robbie. He owned Joe Robbie Stadium and the Miami Dolphins back in the 70s. His estate was worth almost $400 million. His family got next to nothing because the government put it in probate, and it went on for a while, but they sold all the assets and the team to pay the taxes on the estate. The family was left with next to nothing.
So why do you think Joe Robbie did that?
Huh?
If he made all that money, why didn't he figure out how to make a big faux pas like that?
Because they're not educated. And, like I've said many, many times before, the stuff that I talk about on our podcast here, it should be taught in high school, but it's not. And it's just like, the benefits of cash value life insurance, fixed and fixed index annuities, how to become your own banker, how to become debt-free for life, paying yourself compound interest and not the financial institution. That in itself is a huge, huge benefit for people if they would just learn how to do it.
And they don't want to. So the best place to find information on you is to email you at strategicwealth0@gmail.com or call you at 910-551-1046. Check out all your different YouTube channels, all these different things. So much content out there to show, hey, I can make money and I can have a debt-free retirement and I can have money and leave a legacy for my kids. All you need to do is contact Alan Porter today. Appreciate it, Alan.
You betcha. You have a great day, okay?
You too. That was the Strategic Wealth Strategies podcast, guys. Take care.